Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Gossips 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sheila was standing in the living room of Forrester Creations. She could not move. Her eyes were wide open. Her mouth was a little bit open. She felt strange. She did not know what to think. She was scared. She was curious at the same time. It felt like the air around her had gotten thick. It was holding her back. Dylan had just told her something that was hard to believe. His words were still in her mind. She could hear each word clearly. It was like a drum beating in her head. He had said, "Sheila, you are Diana Carter and Massimo Marone is your father." Sheila thought about Forrester Creations and what Dylan had just said. She thought about Diana Carter and Massimo Marone. She was still trying to understand what it all meant. Sheila felt like her whole world was turning down for a second. The ground under her feet felt really solid. Also like it was going to give way any moment. Her mind was over the place trying really hard to understand what was going on. Sheila was trying to make sense of the person she thought she was, the mom she knew herself to be, and this new information about her identity, the family she came from, and the life she never knew she had. Sheila was a mom. Now she was not so sure who she really was. Sheila was confused about her identity and her past. The life of Sheila was not what she thought it was. Her fingers were unclenching at her sides. This was because she was really upset inside. Memories of things that happened before were coming back to her. They were like waves crashing on the shore. She was remembering things she had decided to do. Things people had whispered to her that she did not listen to. There were also moments when she felt weird. She thought she was just being paranoid. Now it all made sense in a really mean way. Memories of her decisions were coming back to her. They were flashing in her mind. It was very clear what had happened. The rumors she had ignored were now very clear to her. The moments of unease she had brushed aside were now making sense. Memories of her past were crashing against each other like waves. She thought she knew herself well. She understood what she was good at and what she was not so good at. She knew how strong she was and how much she could handle. Now it feels like that was all wrong. It feels like she was just pretending to know herself. Her life is actually really complicated. She did not realize that until now. Her self-awareness was like a layer that was hiding the real truth about her life. The truth is that her life is a mess and she is still trying to figure it out. She is trying to understand the her, not just the person she thought she was. Dylan was standing there really calm, like he was holding everything inside him. It was like he had known this was coming for a time, and he had been getting ready for it. Sheila, on the hand, had been walking around without a clue, not knowing what was waiting for her from her past. Dylan looked at her, his eyes steady, not moving away. He was looking at her with sadness and kindness. It was like he was telling her that she had to accept what was true even if she did not want to. His eyes were saying that she had to face what was real, and Dylan's eyes were not leaving hers. Dylan was looking at Sheila. His eyes were full of sorrow and compassion for her, and Dylan wanted Sheila to know that she had to accept the truth about her life. He said this in a voice that got through to Sheila even though she was really confused. He told her that he knew this was a lot to take in and that she was very surprised. He said that she was more surprised than anyone else could ever be. He said that it was all true. Diana Carter was a person. Massimo was her father. When Sheila heard the name Massimo, it felt like someone had hit her. The name Massimo Marone kept echoing in her mind. It was like it was bouncing around in her chest. It was affecting her heart. She was aware of him, of course. His name had come up in her life like a star that's really far away. He was a part of the Forrester Marone family history, a family that's very powerful and in charge. The Forrester Marone legacy is something that people know about. He was an important figure in it, someone who is powerful and commanding, and also someone who seems untouchable, like the Forrester Marone family itself. It is really strange that people call him her father. This feels like a joke that life is playing on her. It is so crazy that she cannot even think about it. She wants to laugh and cry and scream all at the time. She does not make any sound. Her body is just shaking from her head to her toes. The idea that he is her father is too much for her to handle. She is shocked. It feels like her whole world is turned upside down. The news about her father is something that she never saw coming. Her thoughts were over the place as she tried to find something to hold on to. She needed to know what was going on. Dylan had just told her something that made her question everything. She thought about her mother and the secrets they used to talk about in rooms. There were letters and papers and things her mother said that she did not think much of at the time. Now she was wondering if all those little things could actually mean something. Could they be clues to a mystery that she did not know she was a part of? Dylan had said something that made her think about all the moments she had forgotten. These moments now seemed important. She was trying to figure out what they meant. Her mother was a part of this. So was Dylan. She thought about what Dylan had told her and she thought about her mother again. Then fear showed up. This was the fear of what this truth meant. It was not about her. It was about everyone around her. What would the Foresters do when they found out? What would Massimo do? What would this truth mean for her life? It would change her identity. The life she had made for herself was built on things that were not true. She had made it piece by piece and choice by choice. Now she knew it was all based on half-truths and secrets that people had kept from her. She felt really dizzy. The room was spinning around her. The sunlight was shining on the floors. It was sparkling. It was like pieces of bad memories were all over the floor. But though she was shocked and scared and really confused, she was also a little curious. She wanted to know more about Diana Carter. What was Diana Carter's life like before she found out this secret? How did people forget about it for such a time? Diana Carter was a mystery to her. She wanted to figure it out. Sheila really wanted to know about Massimo Marone. He was the man who changed her life without knowing it. Massimo Marone's blood was inside her, which meant she was connected to his family. But Sheila did not really know his family, she had only seen them from the outside. Sheila's mind was over the place. Thoughts were coming to her fast, one after another. She could not control them. Each thought was worse than the last. It was like they were getting heavier and darker. Massimo Marone was the key to understanding her connection to his family. Sheila was desperate to learn more about Massimo Marone and his family. She thought about the times she had met Massimo before. They were moments. She had then forgotten about them. She had thought they were not important. Did Massimo know about her all along? Did he always know? What about the people in the Marone family? They are a family. Their lives are intense and unpredictable. She had only seen a bit of their world from the outside. How would the Marone family react to this information? What would they want her to do? The Marone family has a lot of relationships. They can be very harsh with each other. What role would the Marone family expect her to play in their lives now? Sheila's chest got really tight when she thought about these things. It was like they were hitting her right where it hurt. She had always been the type of person who could handle stuff. She could take care of herself, do what she needed to do to get by. Sheila was a woman who had gotten through tough times because she was determined and smart. This was something else. This was something that made her feel really unsure of herself. It was like a truth that she could not ignore. This truth was so big that it made her wonder who she really was. Sheila's whole life was based on what she thought about herself. Now she was not so sure. Her hands shook a little as she put them up to her face, her fingers touching her lips. It was like she was trying to feel something that would help her understand what was happening. Dylan kept talking. His voice was calm and soft, like he was trying to help her get through a time that she could not see the end of. He said, "I know you have a lot of questions. I promise I will answer all of them. Sheila, you need to know that Diana Carter is not just a name. This is a story. Your story. It is time you know it. Time is a deal." This word really got to her. She felt like she could not avoid what was going to happen. She knew that saying no to the truth or trying to ignore it or even trying to change it would not work. The fact is that her life had changed forever at this moment. There is no way to go back to how things were. She cannot undo what is true. She cannot go back to the lies that made her feel safe for many years. She had gotten used to the relationships and the people who did not like her and the people she loved and the people who hurt her. She felt humble for the time in a long time. This was a feeling for her. She realized how small she was in a family, with a lot of secrets and stories that had been passed down. Family secrets and legacies are complicated. They involve people and their lives are connected over many years. These people have had dreams, a lot of power, love and loss. The room was very quiet. It was like the room was waiting to see what she would do next. The walls seemed to be waiting for her to react to what she had learned. She had never thought she would have to deal with this reality. Family secrets and legacies can be overwhelming. She was trying to take it all in. Sheila looked around the room, saw everything. The shiny floors, the sunlight coming in through the big windows, the furniture she knew so well, but now it felt strange. The furniture felt strange because of what Dylan had said. Every ordinary thing in the room seemed different now. It was like she was seeing everything for the time. She thought about all the things that could have been hidden in the room for years. Then something changed inside Sheila. At first she was really shocked and confused. She did not know what to do. Now she was starting to feel something else. The shock was starting to go and something new was taking its place. Sheila was still thinking about what Dylan had said and it was changing her. The room was. Sheila was changing too. Sheila is not really sure what is going on yet. She has a feeling that something is about to change. She feels determined and curious and she wants to find out what is going on. Sheila had never let other people decide what she should do. She did not let her family or friends tell her what to do. She made her decisions and did what she thought was right. Sheila always did things her way, and she is not going to let this new information change that. This new information is really big. It is going to affect her life a lot. Sheila is going to deal with it in her own way. Sheila is going to make her decisions about what to do next. She was going to face this thing head-on, figure out what it was about and make it a part of who she was. She would use it to deal with her family and the power and love that came with it, and the legacy that was now a part of her life. She took a breath and feeling the cool air go into her lungs. This was a reminder that she was still alive, that she was still the person even though everything around her had changed. Dylan watched her carefully. He gave a nod to show he knew she was strong. She could deal with bad things and still keep going. "We will take it one step at a time," Dylan said in a voice. His voice was like a rope that could help her cross the gap of shock that was between them. Sheila's lips pressed together in a line. This was her way of saying to herself that she was ready for what was coming. Sheila was making a promise to herself that she would deal with everything. She would figure out the secrets and the lies. What was really true? Sheila would come out of this okay. She would be even better than she was before. She would be stronger and wiser and more like herself than ever. In that moment the sunlight moved and made long shadows in the room. This was when Diana Carter, who used to be Sheila Marone, took her step into a new life. Diana Carter had never thought about this life before. It was a life that Diana Carter could look at, take for herself, deal with and finally know what it was about. Diana Carter was really going to explore this life of Diana Carter. Her journey had changed forever, and though fear, doubt and uncertainty still clung to her like a second skin, she felt, for the first time in what felt like an eternity, a glimmer of possibility, a fragile, exhilarating hope that perhaps, just perhaps, she could embrace the woman she was meant to be, not merely the persona she had carried, and in doing so finally fully confront the family, the legacy, and the love that had always been waiting for her, hidden just beyond the veil of secrecy, waiting for the moment she was ready to claim it. Sheila's mind was still spinning. It was like her whole life was passing by fast. She was thinking about all the things that had happened to her over the years. Now she was seeing everything in a different way. This new information was like a light that was shining on everything. It was hard for her to take it all in. Sheila felt like people could see through her. At the time she felt like she was invisible. It was like she did not really know who she was anymore. She had always thought of herself in a way. Now she was not so sure. The fact that she was actually Diana Carter, the daughter of Massimo Marone, was a lot to deal with. It was like her whole sense of self had been broken into a million pieces. Diana Carter would have to try to put the pieces together so she could understand who she really was. Diana Carter was still trying to wrap her head around everything. She was Diana Carter. That was something she would have to get used to. Sheila thought about the things she did in the past and how they affect her life now. She thought about her job at Forrester Creations and the people she knows. She realized that she is not really sure about herself anymore. She is not sure if she is being true to herself or just pretending to be someone. Sheila feels like she has been living a life that's not really hers. She wonders if she has been playing a role in a story that someone else created. This story is full of secrets and lies and things that people do not know about. Sheila is not sure if she is really Sheila or just a character in this story. The air in the room felt really heavy now. It was like the air had taken in all the news and would not let it go. This made her feel like something was pushing down on her shoulders. The air was telling her that she could not ignore what happened before. The future was going to make her face things. Maybe even make friends with people she had been avoiding for a long time. Her eyes went to Dylan. He was very calm, seemed to be waiting for something to happen. He was like a rock, in the mess that was going on in her mind. Sheila thought of him as someone she could talk to, someone who was always there for her, when she was not sure what to do. Even he could not really make her understand how big the truth was that he had just told her. Sheila knew that no matter how much they talked about it, she would not be ready for what would happen. The truth would affect a lot of people, like the Forresters and the Marones and everyone else who was connected to them. The Forresters and the Marones were all part of a group of people who liked and disliked each other, and who had their own ways of dealing with each other. Sheila knew that the truth would change things for all of them, including the Forresters and the Marones. The weight of her family's past was on her too. Being Massimo's daughter was not about having his name. It was about being part of a complicated system of power and influence. Massimo's family had done things, but they had also been involved in some big scandals and had hurt people they trusted. She felt amazed and a little scared when she thought about living a life that was closely connected to Massimo, a man she had only known through stories and rumors, and now she knew he was her father. Massimo's legacy was a thing to deal with. She was Massimo's daughter. That meant she had to navigate a life that was tied to Massimo and his family's history. Sheila could see that Dylan was wondering what she would do. He had a lot of questions. He was not asking them out loud. Sheila knew that what she did now would affect a lot of people, including families. It would change who was friends with who, and it would disrupt the balance that had been holding everything together. This balance was very fragile. It had been that way for a long time. Sheila knew that whatever she chose to do, it would have an impact on her world and the people in it, including Dylan and the other families. Her heart was beating fast as she thought about all the things that could happen now. She would have to deal with Massimo and talk to the Forresters in a way. There would be rumors and people judging her. It would be like a big storm around her. Even with all of this, she started to feel determined. She remembered that she had always taken charge of her life and made her decisions. She had never just sat back, let things happen to her. Now she had something to deal with, something she did not ask for, but she could still decide who she was and what she wanted. The thought of this gave her a bit of strength, a small feeling that she could get through this and still be in control of her life, still be herself, still make her own choices, and still define what it means to be her. Memories of the time she spent with Massimo came back to her. She remembered things like conversations they had and moments when they did not see eye to eye. There were also times when they said things that did not seem important then. Now these things seem to mean a lot. It is like every time they met was a part of a picture that she is just starting to understand. This picture is not about where she came from, but also about the little things that happened over the years that affected her life, the people she knows, and what she wants to do with Massimo and her relationships and ambitions. Sheila felt a lot of emotions at the same time. She was scared but very curious. She was sad. She was hoping for something good to happen. It was a weird feeling. Sheila felt free to do what she wanted. At the same time, she felt trapped. The reason she felt trapped was because of all the things she had to do now, all the things people expected from her, and all the complicated things that came with her new life. Sheila was starting a life, but this new life came with a lot of responsibilities and expectations, and that was hard for her to deal with. She thought about how the Forresters would handle this situation. How would Ridge react? Would Eric try to use this to his advantage? She had spent decades building trust and love with the people around her. Now she was worried that one thing could change everything. The Forresters and their relationships were very important to her. She knew the road ahead would be tough. There would be problems she could not predict or control. She also felt that if she faced these problems with courage and intelligence, she could learn more about herself. This could be a chance for her to find out who she really is. The Forresters and their love meant a lot to her. She was ready to be brave and see what would happen. Dylan's voice was gentle, but he did not give up. He kept talking to her. This reminded Sheila that she was not by herself when it came to dealing with this truth. Dylan's voice told her that she could get help and support if she wanted it. Sheila felt thankful for this. She was still feeling a lot of different emotions. These emotions were like a storm inside of her. They reminded her that her life was complicated. Her relationships with people were complicated too. Sheila knew that finding out who she really was would change everything. It would change how she talked to people and the decisions she made. It would even change what she wanted to do with her life. Sheila thought about all of this. It was a lot to think about. The truth about her identity would have an impact on her life. She thought about Massimo, the man who changed her life without knowing it. Massimo had an impact on her, and she really